All right, hi guys. Officially, I'm Stephen Mwangi. Socially, I'm the funnel, the Wonder Boy, and I'm in the farm. Out here in the farm, I'm with my friend called Wanjohi. Hey, man, he's going to introduce himself and tell us what he does and why we are in the farm right now.
Yes, hello everyone. This is Wanjohi Miner. I'm a farmer and also a consultant in regenerative agriculture. There is syntropic agroforestry, permaculture, regenerative agriculture, agroecology. Those are terms that we simply come across in our daily lives if you read a lot on agriculture and even the field of regenerative agriculture.
Yes.
And I assist farmers, individual farmers, organizations to transition from chemical farming and to turn their farms into thriving ecosystems.
All right.
Like where we are standing, we started the project. The one that is behind us, we shall go there. That's an installed syntropic system, and this is where we started. Nothing was growing here, and we've brought all those vegetation here. And this project is around started in October. That's around 10 months. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's less than 1 year progress.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you said regenerative agriculture. You're going to like sort of break for definition purposes, but so you help people to do that, like mtu unaenda kwa shamba ya mtu anakwambia shamba ndio hii, and then you do what you do.
Yeah, first we must make a farm visit because we must know what we are working with. Because we have to do what we call resource mapping, know what is on the farm, what we can use at the initial start of the project, and what the farmer can incur from outside. Yeah, and we also get to train the farm staff on what we do. That is the regenerative agriculture whole concept.
Alright. Awesome manze. Haya, wape namba yako tukiondokea ndo tuende tukacheki hiyo space.
Yeah, my number, you can reach me on 0712 003 549. That's my official line, and that's also my WhatsApp line. And also on the socials, Facebook, Wanjohi Miner, TikTok, Syntropy Farmer, and also Instagram, Syntropy Farmer.
Fantastic.
Yes, I.
Awesome guys. So he's talking about regenerative agriculture, yani kulima bila kutumia makemiko.
And also regenerative simply means
Yes.
assisting the soil to heal itself. And just like the word generation, you keep on adding more and more crops, more and more plants, and also bringing back the health of the soil. That is the microbes, the macrobes, and also the birds and the insects that assist in the farm. Yeah.
Awesome manze. Ni interesting sana. Swali najiulizaga sijui kama productivity ukilima bila kutumia chemicals na hizo inputs, those synthetic inputs, whether fertilizers or the pesticides or the herbicides or whatever, na ukilima kupitia hii njia ya organic, essentially productivity inakuwaga aje? Watu huona ni kama
there is a very great difference in the productivity of both approaches of farming. Because for one, when you are using chemicals, it's obvious that you are doing something that is monocropping, that is monoculture. For example, you have 5 acres of maybe maize, 5 acres of beans, 5 acres of cabbages, and that is simply monocropping. And obviously when we do the yields, you will be much higher than the one who is practicing regenerative agriculture, because these systems actually bring about, and they simply what can I say, they simply get to have a lot of growth. You plant different crops at the same time or at different intervals, and at the same time you'll get yields at different times of the year, rather than having a monoculture of something. You simply white out. If you can look around, actually this area, our neighbors have already harvested the maize, and even the portion that we are in, this is a portion that we had harvested. We have already harvested maize and beans, and the ground has been left bare until the next season now. And if you move closer to our neighbors, they have already taken down their maize. That is 6 months of waiting for only maize. But again, you have to wait for the next season.
Yes.
You have to wait for the next season for you to plant. But in regenerative systems, you plant crops or even plants that are of different maturity periods. For example, the system that is behind us is a syntropic system. There we shall find different the crops of different maturity periods, meaning that all throughout the year you will not lack anything to harvest. And if you have the advantage of having water, you can do farming all throughout the year. Yeah.
Awesome, manze. Shukran sana. Let's go see what the system looks like. And guys, kama unataka kulima vile inafaa, because one thing people are trying to do is consume food that does not have chemical residues. This is the way to go. Contact Wanjohi. He's going to turn your farm into the best farm ever, because a lot of the farms zimeharibiwa sana na the synthetic inputs, zile mafertilizer na nini nini, and therefore this is the way to go. That's why I'm out here, because I'm also very interested in learning this this lifestyle ya kulima bila kutumia hizi chemicals ambazo zinaumiza udongo na zinaharibu pia mazingira. Having said that, that's what's up. Let's go see you're calling it the system, the syntropy.
The syntropic system. Yeah.
All right. Asante. Yes.
Yeah, so I would also like to touch on how we did this portion a different way from our neighbors, because here we first had maize, we had beans, and as you can see, there are some pumpkins that have been left. That is a concept called the three sisters, because you don't need to simply wait for your maize to go up and then you harvest, and that's that. You need to find a way of harvesting and planting in successions, because again, once you do the three sisters, that is the maize, the beans, and the pumpkins, you'll find that the beans get supported by the maize, and it kind of hardens the stalk of the maize, and also the beans assist in the fixation of nitrogen, which assist in the vegetative growth of both the pumpkin and the maize. And again, the pumpkin will act as your ground cover. Yeah, and also you get to harvest in the different succession stages, because at first the beans came out of the system, then came the maize, and now the pumpkins are left to go about the ground and produce. And at this stage, if we planted it at the right time, we would have lots of pumpkins. But here, this is we were late on planting the pumpkin, so the rain went, and now we are getting to water the pumpkins.
Yeah.
So that's a learning curve, and let us accept failures as teachings. Actually, not failures. Let us have lessons from our farms and get to help other farmers to improve themselves and also to improve ourselves.
Awesome.
And also behind here,
Behind
here we have already harvested beans.
Yes.
But we did not simply get the system again, like leave it with nothing. So the weeds came up, and we did not spray or cut them. We simply let them be, because we want them to be our cover crops when the sun is scorching. We don't want to leave our ground bare. We want to have as much as natural mulch as much as we can, and also do what we call the cultivating living roots. Living roots and dead roots. Now this is the concept of where now The example of where we've already harvested the maize,
Yeah.
we simply cut that maize at the bottom and leave the rooting system of the maize underneath. Now that will be dead roots in a short time. But again, the plant that will come there in future, since we don't till our land, we simply dig holes here at the specific points where we shall be doing our planting. Those roots will make sure that the next plant that comes, that plant will have a better rooting ability than the one that was before there, because the one that was before has already rotten underneath and turned into very beneficial substance underneath, and also it's cultivating what we call fungi that assist in the networking of the plants underneath. So when you bring another plant, that it will go much further than the one that was before, because the root will now have paved a good path for the next plant to pave its way downwards. And again here with these green vegetation, these weeds, they also assist in sequestering carbon, locking the carbon in the ground, and also the other part that is little talked about, that is called the soil liquid carbon. And this is the ability,
Soil liquid
soil
carbon.
liquid carbon. You know, there is the carbon cycle, the one that we know at the top of the plant where the leaf photosynthesis, they get the energy of the sun through photosynthesis, turning it into energy, and also capturing the atmospheric carbon and turning those into sugars that then later, since the plant cannot use all that energy in terms of sugars, it takes it down into the root system through the trunk. And now at the root system there is the microbes that are waiting underneath the soil for the sugars, because they cannot make sugars themselves, but they feed on these sugars. So the plant has to feed the microbes that are underneath. And then since the plant itself cannot turn the nutrients and the minerals in the soil, they cannot like absorb it directly. These microbes turn the nutrients and minerals into the plant available form and pass it to the plant. And now you find that there is a very symbiotic relationship between these plants, the root
organisms
system, and
and
the microbes.
yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is hiyo ni lesson mzima ni lecture mzima ya School of Agriculture bana. All right. So let's go see what else you've got on this particular piece of land.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So here is the start of our syntropic system. This is a tree line, and as you can see, we simply mimic the natural forest. There is a lot of vegetation on top, and downwards is the organic matter. We simply brought the maize stalks that were on the lower part of the farm. We brought them as mulch, and we have trees, we have bananas, we have different diversity, but it will be much possible when we get into the system.
Wow.
Because for example here, this is a peach. This is a fruit tree, a peach. Very close here you can see this pawpaw, and here we have pigeon pea and a banana, and below here we have a jack bean. These are jack beans. These are very good nitrogen fixers, and they are also very good ground covers. I don't know whether jack beans are edible, but they are very good for fixation of nitrogen. So we simply planted these as our support species in this system, because also we get to cut the leaves and also actually prune the leaves and drop them on the ground. And this is mulch. This is mulch from the top of the plants that are here, because these are pigeon peas that we pruned and brought them down. The pigeon peas are not for production. They are simply for biomass accumulation, because biomass is the living part of the plant. When it's on top, when you cut it and bring it down, this is mulch. And as you can see here, the termites, which are macroorganisms, they have already started breaking down the organic matter, this organic matter. And what will happen here is that they will take this down to the soil, and they get now to build their habitat with this, encouraging the fungi that is very beneficial to the soil. And also earthworms tend to thrive in such places because it's damp and it's very wet, and there is something that they can also get to it. And once they bring down the organic matter and they eat it and they leave the residue in terms of the excrete in the soil, you will find that now the microorganisms will find a good environment to thrive again, because they cannot themselves. You see how soft this soil is. This is how forests are built. Organic matter simply falls down in terms of trees. Like this is I thought it was a worm. Yeah, the organic matter falls down, it decomposes, and we continue building the soil from the ground up, because that's how forests create very rich soils, through the decomposition process. And that is the same concept that we bring into a syntropic system, because we plant so many plants closely together, but not all plants will see the final system, because some of them will be support species, some of them will be our crops for harvesting, that is our food, the short-term crops. Because when we were starting these systems, we had a lot of vegetables here, which is now was our first placenta. We have the first and the second placenta. The first placenta is what now we get to harvest in less than 1 year. Those are our annuals. Then there are crops like this. There are plants like this pawpaw that will produce from the first year onwards. These are our perennials that will produce from the first year onwards. And these are our second placenta, because they are nurturing our peach and other fruit trees that are here. And before the peach reaches its peak time for harvesting, we have already started harvesting these pawpaws. And that means you also have what we call the succession in planting and succession in harvesting, because at first we had our crops which we harvested and they were out of the system, and now we are waiting for these the plants to produce, so that we can continue our syntropic way of living and syntropic way of farming.
Wow.
Yeah, and also the banana itself is an irrigation system, because the banana has a lot of water, and once we get to chop it down, we get to lay it on the ground. Also the leaves, we get to chop them down. You see we've already pruned these, put the leaves on the ground so that they can also assist in the building up of our soil organic matter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. I see you also have fruits.
Yeah, these are, the system is very diverse. These are gooseberries.
Gooseberries.
Yeah.
Navi.
Yeah, these are gooseberries. So in such a system, you must be diverse, and you must have different types of plants that you get to harvest and eat as you go by, because this is not a boring system. It's not a boring way of farming, because you don't repeat the same thing every time, because where we started last year is not where we are now, because the system keeps on accumulating a lot of energy through the plants that are in the system, and also through the organic matter that we cut and place on the soil as our mulch.
Yes, let's continue.
Here's another part of the system. We have sweet potatoes. This is a whole bed of sweet potatoes. These we harvest from time to time, and also we leave the leaves to be our natural mulch again. Remember, we don't want to leave our soil covered, unlike where we are or even here, because this bed has finished in production. This needs to be cleared out and something else comes here. But again, we have the challenge of water, but we shall soon get there. And as you can see here, this is the sorghum, and we've covered the sorghum so that the birds do not finish everything for us. And since we live with nature very conducively, we leave such sorghum, such pieces open, because we also need to feed the birds. And the birds are our friends because they also bring seeds from different parts of this part of the location. So we also need to feed them. We live with nature and not against nature. And also in between we have also sugarcane. Remember, this is our grass line. This being our grass line, we've brought in grasses. We are trying out sugarcane and see how the sugarcane now will simply turn out to be. And again, once we harvest this sorghum, these stalks will not get out of the system. It will simply go to feed that system. All that organic matter will soon go back to the soil, and we will also get to feed the soil with itself efficiently.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go.
This is a line with also different types of fruit trees. For example, this is a strawberry guava, and right next to it is a jack bean, and in right here these are pigeon peas, acting as the security, the shade. They are the umbrella of this little guy here, because we are heading to the dry season, the second dry season, and we need to keep this guy well shaded. And right next we have a tree tomato. You can notice the distance, it's less than 1 meter. These also will produce from now. It should be having supposed to be having flowers, and I can see some flowers forming at the top. And this is also our second placenta, because these will not thrive for a long time, maybe 2-3 years, and it's out of the system. And by that time our strawberry guava has started producing. And we also have cassava. This is what we call the mother of the forest, also planted very close together. This is precisely for biomass, not production, because we need to grow as much biomass as possible to cover our soil. And right next is another guy here, our banana. And right next to the banana is a second placenta plant, which is the pawpaw. And right below here we have a long time timber tree, very medicinal. This is the Wanjohi ugandensis. This is Motheka. And as we move by, we have a jack bean, and we have a little tree tomato here. Yeah, it's trying as much as it can, still young. And right next here we have this is a graviola, this is a sour soup. So yeah, that is how this system is designed. And right next to it we have moringa. This is a vitamin tree. It's also very good for nitrogen fixing, also produces good biomass. And right next here we have another Wanjohi ugandensis, and this is pitanga berry or Brazilian cherry. We have pawpaw, and you can see there is a lot of diversity in one bed. And we also need to come bringing in a lot of plants that will simply be producing a lot of organic matter, because every season we need to be chopping down and opening up the canopy and dropping all the mulch on the ground to assist in the building of the soil.
Awesome. Wow, this is very interesting. Yes, tuambie maneno, what is this ndoma we
Yes,
can see here?
this is what we call the cocoyam. We have two varieties. We have this white variety, and we have this uh, purple variety. These are two different varieties, but they produce the same way, because these are what we can call the upland arrowroot. Though they are cocoyams, because they have tubers like potatoes underneath. So what you do is that you get to dig at the bottom, you remove the whole plant and harvest several tubers, unlike the way we harvest arrowroots, which is only one tuber underneath. But these are very conducive for dry areas and also for those doing upland farming. This is very crucial and beneficial for your plate.
So how do you plant it? Can you put it back?
You simply, after harvesting these, there is the comb. There is the comb that is underneath. The comb that looks like a banana comb. After you harvest the tubers of it, you have to cut it at a specific area and you simply put it back in the soil and it will continue regenerating. And also the tubers themselves, you can also use them as seeds, because they will still produce some roots, and also they will shoot up. And also the part that you've separated from this mother plant, you can also use it to propagate your own suckers. Yeah, so those are different ways of planting the cocoyam.
Awesome. Let's carry on. Yeah, hapa tuko wapi?
Yeah, we are still in our syntropic system. Remember, we said we are diverse. They are actually, here we can see the 5 lines of a syntropic system, because behind there we have a tree line, which is this one. We have this tree line with the trees, timber trees, fruit trees, first and second placenta, and then we have a grass line. We have a vegetable line with pineapples, and then we have a grass line with lemongrass and another tree line. So the concept of the grass is to be, this is our biomass accumulator again. It's our irrigation system, because we can choose to cut it and mulch the other beds with it, or we can simply use it as a cash crop, because like here we have harvested some lemongrass for our client. And remember, we don't leave our soil uncovered. So after harvesting, you can actually see how these, not much sun can get in here, because it's quite covered. It's very thick. But once you harvest it, you find those spaces that have got that can be actually affected by the sun, and that's up to the end. So that's how we do it here. And once we make sure the soil is uncovered, we are sure to get some yield. I'm trying to open up these. You can actually come closer and see how the lemongrass is shooting. This is after we harvested these grass. That is the advantage, because such grasses regrow very quickly. So instead of uprooting it at the bottom, you simply give it a very clean cut, and you are good to go. Yeah, so can maybe give the importance of a grass line, no, of a vegetable line. Like this is a vegetable line. We've simply done pineapples only, and normally these were supposed to be having vegetables, but we chose to be adventurous and bring in pineapples. These are around when did we plant these? They are around 3 months old, and pineapples take around 2 years to start producing. So this is the project of 2 years, and hope we will, or even 1 year, depending with the climate. So I'm hoping to see how these pineapples will do, because this is my first trial with pineapples in a syntropic system, and I hope we shall be here while we be harvesting in a year or 1.5 years time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so here we are still touring the system. You can see how this pawpaw has produced, and this is how advantageous we are, unlike a monoculture system, because we have different pawpaw trees, and they are producing at different intervals, because we don't give them anything to boost their growth. We simply let nature do its thing. And now that's another advantage. We can take these to the market once they start ripening, and we can obviously get something for use, or yeah, for our needs, or to run the farm. So that's our pineapples. Right next to it is a strawberry guava, and we also have tree tomato. We also need to prune these guys so that the tree tomato can get to go up. And right here we have Wabugia ugadensis. That's a very good medicinal tree. And the bananas, of course. Our favorite irrigation system, biomass accumulator.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
There's something you mentioned I wanted to see. There's mohair, there's sorghum, and then there's something else.
Yeah, we actually, yeah, because we have this grass line filled with sorghum, and then we have a vegetable line that has been done with different varieties of sweet potatoes, and then we have millet here, millet and sunflower. So this line was planted as a trial system, because this is our trap crop for the birds. We've noted that they do love eating millet more than the sorghum, or I think it's because the millet grows fast, matures fast than the sorghum. So the hack here was plant this for the birds. The birds will concentrate on these lines, and both lines of sorghum would be safe. And by the time the sorghum hardens, and we are able to bring in these covers for them, they are almost done with this, and now we can safely come and cover our sorghum. Yes. So that birds don't get to eat everything before we get to harvest anything.
So that is the same concept even with the covering on the sunflower,
Yeah,
right?
we have covered the sunflower so that the birds do not eat everything. But I think Mr. Rat has found a way of getting in. This is a rat, of course. This is gone. Yeah, this is gone. This is surely gone. Yeah, you see, because the rat had found a way of getting inside here. So that tells you that this is a living ecosystem. This is a living system, a very good living classroom, because we do not only get to feed ourselves, we also get to feed Mother Nature's children. And that's even what what the Holy Book tells us. Yeah, we are supposed to simply take care of the earth, and the earth will in turn reciprocate that favor.
Yes.
Because humans have become the most incompetent species on this earth. They are simply taking everything and not thinking of even tomorrow, or even what they are doing in this earth. Yeah, so we need to work with nature and not against it. And remember, Mother Nature does not forgive. There's no compromises. Once Mother Nature has started her rampage, I don't know where humanity will hide to. Yeah, so make the choice. Make the choice and be on the good side of Mother Nature.
Yes, so
Yeah, so that's our syntropic system. This is
yes,
the syntropy farmer for you, and voila,
we have a
the jackpot. At least we won't get off the farm empty-handed. We have this ready guy, and as you can see, it's not so clean because we also feeding the microorganisms. I don't know what has affected these ones. Yeah, but we shall still get to get something to eat. But this one is not. This one will have to wait. But we've got something for the evening.
at
And
least.
also, I would like to touch something on how we feed our system before growth, because this being a degraded piece of land, there was nothing growing here, and that means the soil was not that rich. So we must keep on feeding our fruit trees, that is our pawpaws, that is our oranges, our bananas, as time goes by. So if you look below here, you can see that we added some compost beneath it, and actually you can see it's actually wet because we also water it. And if you look closely here, you can see the feeder roots. You can see these feeder roots, and also some earthworms. Yeah, you can see. Now the earthworms we should be cultivating should be bigger than this, because we shall continue building up our SOM, the soil organic matter, as time goes by, and we shall be creating a conducive environment for them. So that's our mathematics for today, and voila.
Awesome. I have a question.
Yes, please.
So you said this land was bare until you installed the system 3 years ago. How long is it?
This was in November last year. This was installed in November last year.
November last year. That's when you planted the pawpaws, the bananas, the millet, the everything.
Yeah, everything.
Wow.
But the thing is,
Yes.
something like the grass lines.
Mm.
This is the second regrowth from last season,
Yes.
because we did not uproot the grasses that we brought in. That is the millet and the sorghum. We simply cut it down, fed it to the soil, and then it regrew again. So that's another concept of such a system. You need to plant grasses that will need to regrow again, so that you can cut them down and you get to feed the soil with it.
All right.
Yeah, and actually, if we had planted something like different types of elephant grass or napier grass, these also should not have gone to seed, because a lot of energy goes into seed production, because a plant wants to reproduce itself. That's why it's producing seeds. And on the other hand, what we do in such a system, we should cut the grass when it's very young, because that's when the energy is much more in that plant, and we need to capture that energy and bring it back to the soil before it goes to seed, because as I've said, a lot of energy goes into into seed production, and now this organic matter will not have as much energy as when it will have been pruned or cut when it was yet to produce these seeds. Yeah, and that same way you get to get a lot of organic matter, produce a lot of organic matter for covering your soil, and in a rainy season you can maybe get to cut the grass maybe 3 times before the rainy season ends. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, that is a lot to take. I think I'll have to rewatch this video and grasp those concepts. I would like to remind the viewer your number again, how they can find you, so that they can get a personalized consultancy for their farm. So what do you do now? You go to people's farms, because the installation has to happen at the farm itself.
I don't go to people's farms. People invite me to their farms.
People invite you to their
Because if I do that, I will be going into every farm, and obviously free things are never appreciated. So Yeah, my number is 0712 003 549. That's my direct line, and that's also my WhatsApp number.
People can
And
see what some of the things that you have done
uh,
of
yeah, if you want
social.
to check my work on the socials, TikTok is the Syntropy Farmer, Instagram is the Syntropy Farmer, and also Facebook is Wanjohi Miner with brackets and Syntropy Farmer in brackets.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now I want us to finish with something. I saw you were working on some colorful maize. Would you mind showing us the maize and telling us more about that?
Yes, actually, that is what we've just harvested, and that is the organic matter that is being used. Those are the maize stalks that you've seen us using on the tree lines as mulching. So that is what we've been doing today. We've been separating them.
Wow.
We've been separating them from the comb,
Yes.
and we get to package them and send them to customers. So we are doing a dispatch this weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go see it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so this is another system, this is another part of the system, and here we wanted the okra to give us seeds, and that is exactly what has happened. These are few seeds that I came with from Tanzania. A friend of mine shared them with me, and we already have seeds. This is actually a different color of the okra. This is what we call the red okra. It has some reddish color. Yeah, these are the seeds. So we have plenty of seeds of this okra plant, and it really grows tall. This is how we do it. You see how many seeds, and I'm noting that like every seed bracket has around 10 seeds. So you can imagine how much one pond can carry for you. Maybe 100 seeds. So these are 100 or over 50 okra plants, just from a few seeds that I brought from Tanzania. And this is the advantage of planting heirloom seeds, because they self-regenerate and they keep strengthening their genetic diversity, their genetic strength, their genetics. They keep being resilient as you keep planting them, because they kind of read the environment in the area, and they kind of get to create their immune systems, better immune systems that is adaptive to the environment that they are in, just as we human beings do. When you go to an area, they say that when you go to Rome, you live like like the Romans do. So that's what these plants also do behave, because you can imagine all the way from Arusha up to here, yeah, and they are still surviving from Arusha to central Kenya.
Wow. Here we are.
Here is another part of the system. This is like our kitchen garden, and this is also where we have our animal system. And these are sukuma wikis, and these they need to go to the mama mboga. So this is simply manure and water, nothing else. Yeah, so we
Manure and
simply
water.
manure and water, actually compost and water, because what we are using is compost from avocado peelings. So you can imagine all that oil and that combination, and you can see how big and healthy these sukuma wikis are. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you sell them?
Yeah, we sell them. Actually, there are some mama mbogas who are supposed to come harvest it, because this is really overgrown. Yeah, and we feed some to the chicken, and that which they cannot consume, we simply sell it off. The ones that look good, we sell them off.
Wow.
Yeah,
These are
and
huge.
also notice the mulch on the ground. That is one secret every farmer should do. They should
Mulching.
keep the soil 100% covered. Yeah,
Wow.
and that will assist in your farming endeavors. Yeah, because you will not lose water, you will conserve the moisture, and you will create a conducive environment for the microbes and microorganisms to thrive and assist you in your farming moments.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Man, this is great. This is awesome. How do you keep them, the leaves from being, I mean, how do you escape the spraying
The
of,
pesticides,
yes.
and the pests.
Mm.
For example, if we go around here,
Uh,
we can see some of them have been affected by pests.
yes.
But one thing with pests is that, for example, these are guys who are invading our sukuma wiki. These are aphids. Yeah, but aphids are messengers. Actually, uh, these pests are messengers from Mother Nature because they are communicating something to us. Maybe something is lacking in this plant, and we also need to check what is that. But again, aphids tell us that we are not feeding enough water to the plant, and when it's raining, the aphids will simply disappear because there is abundance of water. And again, if we happen to cultivate healthy soils, the soils will get to grow healthy plants for us. And just like us human beings, if you have a strong immune system, you will not be prone to diseases and discomforts. So yeah, that's one secret of this way of farming. You simply need to feed the soil, and the soil will get to feed the plant for you, and that's that. And again, one thing, pests do not attack healthy plants. That's one secret. That's one fact that people should know. And also, if we see that we have been too much attacked by the pests, we can make some biopesticides for spraying around the crops, but they are totally organic. Yeah. But what we should be observing as farmers is our soil health. If our soil is healthy, the soil will get to grow healthy plants for us, and we shall eat healthy plants, healthy food from the soil. Yeah. And also, that's how our immune system gets boosted straight from the soil, because we are made of that same substance that makes the soil. Yeah. So we
Awesome.
need to be smart farmers, not
100%.
practice moron agriculture.
Thank you.
Yes, I.
Here you go. We have red maize. Hii ni red ama ni maroon?
Yes, this is what you can call halo maize. This is colored maize, and you can see we have different colors here. This is actually red. It's a mix of red and yellow, but this is precisely red. And we also have purple. This is actually very heirloom varieties. You don't need to be going back to the agrovet to be buying these seeds. This is what farmers should be growing, because it helps you to have what we call food sovereignty. No one controls your food, and you get to grow what you simply can enjoy. Because again, we know with the different colors of food, they have different nutrients, different minerals, and therefore they assist our bodies in different ways. So yeah, this is our sorting area. This is what we are doing. This is now separating the seed from the chaff.
Oh, seed from the shaft.
Yeah, and these guys are actually separating these the red corn from this purple one. This is purple maize. Yeah, and that's red. Yeah, and also here, right here, we have this a mix of white and yellow. Yeah, these are still indigenous. They are heirlooms. Yeah, they can simply regrow again once you get to plant them. And right here We have this one that is now completely red. This is much thick in color than our counterpart, the one we are choosing before. And right here, so these are also of different colors, and you can see how different these ones look. Yeah, like this is somehow complete purple reddish. Yeah, so you can imagine how beautiful this maize looks and how tasty it will be
How tasty it is. So,
in your ugali.
so this is different colors. Is
Yeah.
because I can see the orange or the yellow. I can see the purple. I can maybe there's a red here somewhere. What is the difference?
What has happened is that we planted seeds that cross-pollinated because we had purple, we had yellow, we had red, and all these over time, because I have been planting these seeds for 5 years now. Planting them in the same area, they get to cross-pollinate, and that's why you find one maize with different colors. Now there is also a variety that is called a glass corn because it has different colors and it's very shiny. Yeah, so that's one thing. And again, these are not GMOs because GMOs actually are programmed with what we call a terminogene. Once the pollen of a GMO crops attaches on another indigenous crop or even a hybrid, it simply changes it into GMO instantly, and you get to find that those seeds cannot regenerate. Even hybrids do not regenerate because they are simply designed to be higher in production, because when we hybridize plants, we simply want a higher production or a better crop than the one that was there. And the disadvantage with that is that as you continue with the hybridization of these crops, you also find that the nutrient density of the crops keeps going down. And that is why we now have tomatoes that are very tasteless, because unlike our small cherry tomatoes that simply grow anywhere, those are very tasty, and even they feel that your taste buds have been awakened. Yeah, but these big ones, these hybrid ones, these greenhouse ones, they are totally tasteless. So we as farmers also need to be honest in our trade, because why should you simply spray a crop and then you take it to the market the next day? Yeah, so we should desist from an honest living as farmers, because a lot of people depend on us for their food, and we should be giving something healthy to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you say these maize, the colored ones, are indigenous?
Uh,
What does that
we
mean?
can call them indigenous because these are these have been passed down over generations, because once you plant these maize, it keeps on regenerating itself. That's what I mean by indigenous, because we do not actually know where these maize came from, but history teaches us that uh, maize originated from Mexico, and the Portuguese brought maize with them as they were colonizing nations. So they brought the maize to Kenya. I don't know which type of maize they brought, but I remember when I was little, there was still some colored corn that I was seeing around, and also some white maize that we would simply plant back to the soil. But as time goes by with the hybridization of these species, maize simply went disappearing. And
Yeah.
actually, these are also hybrids. These are also hybrids because the original maize was the size of wheat. It was very small. You could not even get these grains. You could not get the size of these grains. If you look the original size of maize, you would find that it has also been hybridized to feed the human concept, and also to feed more humans and produce more, just like wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And these are better than the regular white maize that
these are
we.
better than the hybrids,
Ah.
because one thing, these are self-regenerating, and they are healthier because of the different colors, and also of how you grow them,
Yes.
and also the diversity, the resiliency in them to the environment, and the adaptability. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very much. Wow, guys, we have come to the end of the video. We are going to take it up to that point. We have been with the Wanjohi The Syntropy Farmer. Tumepiga shughuli, tumepiga raundi. My head is buzzing right now with all the things I've had today, and I'm looking forward to interact with you more so that I can actually implement that lifestyle as I'm getting into agriculture. Deule, mambo ni hayo tu kwa sasa, nitawaacha muendelee na mbogi yako kuselect. Why are you choosing them, by the way? Why are you separating them by colors?
Because that's according to the
The
client's
client, okay.
preference, because someone wants yellow, someone wants red, yeah, and someone wants purple, so we have to separate them and see the capacity that we have and see how to distribute it, and also save some for our next season.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. One more time, pale hivyo social media, starting with Facebook.
Wanjohi Maina on Facebook, brackets is Syntropy Farmer, TikTok is Syntropy Farmer, and Instagram is the Syntropy Farmer too.
Awesome. And the number?
My number is 0712-003-549, and again 0712-003-549.
Very slowly.
That's
Yes,
my
that's
direct
yes.
call, and that's my WhatsApp number still.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing the knowledge that you have. Guys, for you to hear the kind of things you have had on this video, you'd have to pay a lot.
We've given them for free.
You have given them for free, so tuna appreciate sana. And I hope somebody changes their lifestyle, especially wale wanaingia kwa agriculture. Ndo tulime na nature, sio against nature. We farm with nature.
Yeah, farm with nature and not against.
Not against nature. Asante sana. This is the fun of the Wonder Boy. I've been with Wanjohi the Syntropy Farmer.
Syntropy Farmer.
Syntropy Farmer. Asante sana, bro. Cheers.
Popo, we are going.
The popo is here to enjoy the fruit of the land.
Yes, straight from the shamba.
No chemicals.
No chemicals, man. We are going to enjoy it together with our guys down here. Quarter. And one for our cameraman.
Very nice, very nice. Asante.
Sweet, sweet.
Tamu sana.
You see?
Nimeuma mpaka seeds.
Very good for your gut. It's very good for deworming.
Hizo seeds
Hizo mbegu, yeah.
ndizi melio ukana galia.
Tafuna alafu umeze.
I think one bite is enough, eh? Guys, fruit of the land.
Cheers.
Thank you, man.